This is a completely unscripted video how I would get a girlfriend today in 2024 if I was starting brand new from scratch in my dating life as a man who has maybe learned nothing about masculinity, has not started a journey of self improvement, has not done anything to work on himself, and basically has no understanding in female nature. What I'm going to do in this whole video is close my eyes and give a comprehensive breakdown and analysis of step by step exactly what I do. I have no idea why I thought of this last night. I have no idea what made me want to make this video, but I think it would be really fun. So this is completely candid. This is completely not scripted. And here goes. Oh, real quick, by the way, I put together a little gift for you. It's down below in the description, so you can see that gift at the end of today's video. Okay, here goes. So the first thing that I would do if I was a man first starting out learning female nature and trying to get a girlfriend or trying to start to date is I would go over to the mirror and I would take a good hard look at myself and I would actually ask myself, am I physically attractive? Like from the raw naked eye, right? Or just looking at myself, like, do I have sex appeal in general is the first thing that I'm going to ask myself. Like, do I find myself attractive? So what I would do is I would start to kind of pick apart my appearance and I would now find ways to improve so that way I can captivate a woman's eye. So the first thing that I would start to do is I would try to lower my body fat level. And that is actually the first thing that I did when I was much younger. I wanted to look in the mirror and I said, hey, am I attractive? And the truth is I saw that there was some work that I could do. So the first thing that I wanted to improve on is the first thing that I can grasp. The first thing that you can grasp is probably your looks, meaning you can start to go to the gym, okay, and you can start to restrict your calories slowly while keeping your protein high. So that way you lose body fat, you're in a caloric deficit, your face is going to get more angles to it. You're going to look better when you're leaner, and you're going to notice that a leaner, more angular, sleeker face and body always has more sex appeal. So you start to work out, you start to gain more of that V taper, you start to look better in clothes. Now all of a sudden you look more attractive. So this is the very first step, is you want to get lean, you want to put your best foot forward, so that way when women look at you, they go, wow, he's actually attractive, or wow, he looks very appealing. Okay, you're going to notice throughout every YouTube video I've ever made in the past 3, 4, 5 years on this channel, I've always stayed in really good physical shape, and that's why. It definitely helps. It gives you an advantage in life. So be sure to always prioritize your health and fitness first, because what you're signaling to the woman is good markers of health, which equals a good bet for her survival. Remember, this is about what she wants, not about what you want. In order for you to get what you want, which is the girlfriend, you're going to have to provide the things that she wants, which is a man with good survival value and high amounts of sex appeal. The second thing that I would do is I would try to craft a look. Okay, so you got to understand, when you're crafting a masculine archetype, it doesn't matter if you're the cowboy, the football player, the track star, the athlete, the musician, the rapper, the basketball player, the skateboarder, the surfer guy. Women want to be able to associate you with a specific archetype or look. Now, you want to lean into the look that represents you, that has the most amount of congruence. This is where most guys go completely wrong. They try to make themselves something that they are not. Okay, so if I started dressing like I'm a musician, that would not fit who I am and that would not fit me. So instantly, even if I attract the woman at face value through her looking at me, now after 30 seconds to a minute, she's going to start to sense incongruence and the whole interaction is going to go south. So once I've got my body on point and I look good, now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to craft an archetype that fits my body, that fits my vocal tone, that fits my persona, that fits my face, that fits who I am in general. That's next. Women want to associate you with someone. That way she goes and tells all her friends, hey, I'm talking to the football player. Hey, I'm talking to the surfer. Hey, I'm talking to the really cute skater boy. This is how women operate. Their fantasies are oftentimes story-based. You want her to be able to uncover you page by page as long as you can, which is why you stretch out that time horizon. So you need to associate a specific character or archetype with the fantasy or potential fantasy or pictures in her brain that she wants to associate you with. That's the second thing that I do. The third thing that I would do is I would do a friend audit, okay? Every single time you have a friend in your life that's a man, if you go out with them, they are doing one of two things, and that's it. The first thing that they are doing is they are raising your sexual market value by positioning you with other guys who are cool and who bring value to the table. Maybe the women think that they're popular, or they're doing the opposite and they are lowering your sexual market value. That's it. So if the guys that you're hanging out with are corny, if they are always hooting and hollering and screaming, if they're constantly in a state where they are putting women on the pedestal in the conversation and they're constantly giving them lots of attention and they're not actually centered within their frame, it's going to be very hard for you to create the right dynamic that's going to be a frame where she wants to enter into that world of yours. So that's the third thing that I would do, is I would actually audit my friends. I would audit who I'm around, and I would be making sure that the guys that I'm rolling with are cool guys who actually have something going for themselves. So that way when women meet all of us, it looks like not only you're accepted by the group, but it also would look like you have some value that you're bringing to the table, which is why you are part of that group in the first place. The next thing that I would do is I would start to go out, okay? And I would start to make sure that I develop a social circle. I start to develop friends. This is the exact thing that I did in my life. Since this is the exact thing that I actually did in my life when I was younger, this is the exact steps that I'm going to be giving to you. You need to start to go out and you need to start to make friends. Now, when you curate the right vibe and you start to have social status, what you want to do is you want to start to become known without directly making a move on any of the people that you're talking to, or without directly flirting with any of the women. You don't want to come across as the guy who is thirsty. The second that you start to flirt with that girl, or the second that she decides she doesn't like you, is the second that she now tells 2 of her friends, and 2 of her friends tell 4 of her friends, and 4 of her friends tell 8 of her friends, and pretty soon none of them are sold on you. What happens when you don't directly flirt with any of them is you craft a sense of mystery. Okay, when you craft a sense of mystery, they start to wonder, I wonder who this guy's into, or I wonder why this guy is not flirting with any of us, or I wonder what type of woman this guy is even interested in. And now what they're going to start to do is they're going to start to get to know you. Now you're going to attract them instead of pursue them. You are now going to be the ones attracting them. As you attract them, now they want to get to know you. Now they want to discover more about you. Now you're the novel or the mystery or the storybook that they want to unfold page by page. So by you not directly flirting with any of them, by you never making a move, you elevate your sense of power. You elevate your sense of social status. You become the man who's untouchable. When you become the man who's untouchable, now they want to figure out, what is this guy's type? What do I have to do to win him over? Why is he not giving me attention? He's super popular and all the other guys like him. He's super well connected and well known in the friend group. Why is it that he's not flirting with me? Why is it that he's not making a move? Why is it that he's not adding me on social media? Why is it that he's not trying to talk directly to me? When you get her in a position where she's asking those questions to herself subconsciously, what you're going to notice is women naturally put themselves in your vicinity. They will come up to you and say, is anybody sitting here? They'll come up to you and they'll say, so what are you drinking? They'll come up to you and they'll say, oh, so what do you do? They'll come up to you and say, so why are you so quiet, right? Why don't you talk to anybody here? Why is it that you're single? They're going to start to ask you these questions. They're trying to discover you. The next thing that I would do is I would actually start to imitate the movements of the people who are most attractive. Okay, so here's what I can tell you. So if you start to come across as the pretentious guy that nobody can obtain, if you start to come across as the guy who doesn't need anything from anybody, like just look at the way like the hot girl moves. The hot girl moves effortlessly. Her conversations seem really relaxed because she knows that majority of the guys are naturally into her. That way she doesn't have to try very hard. She's completely centered and focused in her own world, and because of that, she attracts the men like a magnet. Now, what you're going to realize is the men that she attracts like a magnet, she typically pushes away and doesn't want, because since they're approaching her, since they're demonstrating their high interest, she naturally feels as if she has higher dating market value than that guy. Women start to see a few things. The first thing that they start to see is this guy probably has something going for himself in life because he's not centered and focused on trying to chase dates and pursue women. She's also going to see that this guy actually has some bit of respect for himself and doesn't just start flirting with everything that he sees. And last but not least, she sees that his dating life is probably under control, meaning he already has women that he's talking to or that he's seeing. Since he's not coming across as thirsty, he's demonstrating that he probably already has options. That's going to elevate his pre-selection status, and now what you're going to notice is they're naturally going to gravitate towards him. And then last but not least, I would only choose the women who choose me. So the women, here's what you're going to notice: when they really start to have interest in you, they will actually overtly start to compliment you. They're going to say things like, "You're so hot." They're going to say things like, "You have this energy about you that's just aloof," or "Why are you so mysterious?" Or they're going to say, "Oh gosh, I can't believe you're single. I'd love to go out with you." They're going to start to demonstrate their overt interest, because since you've been running covert the whole night, and since you're so indirect with your behaviors and your motions, they start to get to their last ditch effort or their last resort. And their last resort is them demonstrating towards you that they have interest. From there, I would choose dates, or I would choose only the women who are naturally choosing me. And from there, these are the women I'm going to just exchange phone numbers with. These are the women that I'm going to take out for coffee. And then the biggest thing that I've learned over the years is having 100% personality congruence. So what women will find out about you very quickly is that if you're a man who puts on a front or an act, they see through that bullshit really quickly. Okay, so general game and flirting principles, or not even flirting principles, general game where you're demonstrating value, you're keeping things very indirect, that will work in order to attract them. But as soon as you go out on 1, 2, 3 dates, she wants to know who you are. Now, you can uncover that slowly, page by page, but what I can tell you is this: if you're not 100% happy with yourself, where you're at in life, where you're going, what you've became. Okay, let me give you an example. If the cowboy deep down wants to be a rock star, she's going to sense incongruence. If the rock star deep down wants to be a cowboy, she's going to sense incongruence. Okay, if the NFL football player naturally wants to actually be an accountant, she's going to sense incongruence. Your identity and who you are and what you're becoming all needs to mesh together. And when it meshes together, you now become the immovable rock. This is the whole premise and makeup of what I would call masculine frame. So it's very important to be in a situation that you want to be in life, which brings me to my final point, or my bonus point. What you have to do is you have to be associated with something. So she wants to be able to look at you and say, "That's the high performing real estate agent in my city. Okay, that's the star quarterback of the college football team." You need to be pushing towards something, because even if it doesn't directly come up in the conversation right away, you don't want to do that, because now you're self-qualifying. Now you're trying to put your accolades on a pedestal instead of letting her discover you. But what I can tell you is that when she sees you have stuff going on in your life, she sees that you're going somewhere. It seems like you're a man with direction. You're not just out chasing dates. You're not just out running around trying to hopefully you get lucky. And that's how I do it. When you come full circle with that, that's how you get a girlfriend. Now she sees he has friends, he has a job, he has a career, he has an occupation, he has good markers of health, he's lean and he's in shape, he has a look, he has a certain amount of sex appeal, he knows who he is. All of those things make up the fundamental frame and premise of a relationship, which is what you need. If you like this video, hit the like button. Be sure to go down below, click the link in the description, and check out the gift that I made for you, and we will see you in the next one.